You are now listening to
the Primal Armor Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Home Gym Con. This is the first conference dedicated to home gym fanatics. At this event, you'll have the opportunity to get your hands on hundreds of pieces of equipment, get exclusive discounts on items for your gym, learn from industry experts, and much more. The conference starts on April 14th in French Lick, Indiana. Visit homegymcon.com to order your tickets and use the code PRIMAL to save 10% on your purchase. Using that code also donates 10% of the proceeds to Huntington's disease research. Join myself, as well as all of your other favorite brands and sponsors this April by going to homegymcon.com today and ordering your tickets using our special code. Welcome back to episode 78 of the Primal Armor Podcast. It's been a very bittersweet time in my household lately, as I just sold what I thought was going to be my forever squat rack. Last January, I bought a Rogue 390 flat foot rack, and I even paid extra to customize it and then add on all the attachments that I thought I was going to want. Not too long after that, I got introduced to Jason from Surplus Strength, and that's when I found out about his universal pulley system. And once I saw that, I knew I needed to have it. The problem, though, was that the lower unit of that pulley system wouldn't attach to my flat foot rack. Then with the plate storage that I bought and put on my 4-post rack, I wasn't able to efficiently squat inside of the rack and use the safety straps that I bought. It was a really nice rack, and honestly, it was one that I thought that I was never going to be able to afford for years and years down the road. But this one just wasn't cutting it for my overall goals that I wanted to hit. I knew I wanted a pulley system, though, and I saw that Jason had custom work listed on his website. Then he had just released his own 4-post rack at the time, so I knew that the pulley system would work with it, and I could build it however I wanted because it's custom. I made the mistake of buying a rack before I truly knew what I wanted, and it doesn't matter how nice of a rack that you have if it doesn't work for you and your goals. You can do more with a cheaper Titan rack if it's set up exactly how you need, rather than having a bare bones Rogue or a Sornex rack just to say you have a top of the line brand. And that's where my mistake was. I just bought something from a brand that I liked and got one that I could afford, and not one that I took the time and the effort into planning. Investing in a gym is a lifelong commitment, and you need to treat it like that when you're making decisions on buying equipment. I recently purchased a new rack from Jason, and it's going to be one of the biggest 8-post racks I've ever seen. And it's going to be set up and built perfectly to the space that I have in my garage. And that was after about 3 or 4 months of revisions to finally get it right. I wanted the extra posts and the extra height to make sure I had the room for whatever attachments I may want to add in the future. And that was with an upgraded rack to 1-inch hardware, because that seems to be the industry standard going forward. This time, I took my time planning my rack to make sure that this was for surely going to be my forever rack. And that's what you need to do in building a home gym. You need to take your time planning. Because like I said, it's a lifelong commitment. You need to treat those decisions as such. But that's another reason why I love that I upgraded to 1-inch hardware on this new rack. It opens up so many possibilities because it's like adult Legos. Almost any attachment you can think of can be added onto a 1-inch rack, which helps save so much space. I was able to get rid of my full-size GHD and finally free up a huge footprint in my garage by adding the rack mount GHD from Exponent Edge. You can also get lots of different storage options that you can add to your rack. They make gun rack and vertical style barbell holders to help you get stuff off your walls. And companies like Rogue make their own versions of wall control so you can hang jump ropes, bands, and cable attachments in your small footprint and save space in your gym. The universalness of a 1-inch rack is just crazy. So that's the perfect place to start. Figure out what size footprint that you have to work with, and then plan your rack size accordingly, because they make 4-post, 6-post, and even 8-posts like I've got. There are so many space-saving options that there are for racks these days, like GHDs, pulley systems, belt squats, reverse hypers, and so much more. It really does open up the endless opportunities. So take plenty of time to measure your space and fit a rack in there that has plenty of size for add-ons. And always go 1-inch hardware, because I'm starting to see that more and more, and that's starting to become the industry standard for all attachments. And then there are plenty of manufacturers out there who make a rack that fit this bill, like Rogue, Rep, Irwin, Surplus Strength, the Bells of Steel, and there's so many more. You can choose whatever brand you prefer, but make sure you leave it open to customizing it later. Don't make that mistake that I did and just jump the bullet way too quick. So now that you have some good advice to buying your rack, you need to choose what barbell you're going to be lifting with. And that's pretty hard because there's so many options out there, from cheap ones to ones that cost more than most people's entire gym. And I highly recommend not going the cheapest route. I had one of those 300-pound cap barbell sets from Dick's Sporting Goods when I graduated 8th grade. And it finally got to the point where I was squatting 400 plus pounds and it ended up actually bending on my back. So going cheap is not always safe. And I know that firsthand. If you want to go the cheap route, I think getting a barbell from the Rogue Boneyard is one of the best options you can do if you want to save a quick buck. Because they're just as functional and well built as a regular one. They just got scratches or scuffs in manufacturing, so they give you a big discount. And this is an easy way to get a high-end barbell for a great price. If you order your rack from Rogue, they also do $75 shipping on everything in that order. So this is a good time to order the weights that you'll end up needing, because those add up real quick in shipping price. They also let you add in a barbell as well, if that's a way to save a few more bucks on shipping to get a quality barbell. And then for weight, the Echo bumpers from Rogue are a great deal if you can get the shipping at a price while ordering the rack from them. Then you can also get those everyday essential bumpers from time to time on Walmart's website for about $1 per pound, which is an amazing deal for bumpers, because it's really hard to find any sort of bumpers out there that aren't $2 or more per pound. So it's almost worth the wait to find that deal to happen. Plus, most bumpers are manufactured at the same few places overseas. Then they're shipped over here to America, and they're stamped with a company decal, and then they're upcharged out the ass. So you're still using the same bumpers from all these different places. It's just what brand do you want stamped on it. I'm definitely a weight is weight type of guy, and saving a quick buck on weight is definitely worth it. For competitions, quality bumpers are worth it. For beating up equipment and everyday training, any type of bumper will do. Now for a bench, Rep has some of the best prices out there for some of the most well-built benches on the market. They also offer flat and adjustable benches for whatever you prefer. I prefer a flat bench, so I got the FB 5000 because that is, in my opinion, one of the best pieces of gym equipment out there for its price. Out of all the different types of equipment out there, that's one of the best ones out there. But many people love and rave about the AB 4100 because they like adjustable benches. So those are some of the best deals that you can get out there for benches, is going to Rep and finding one that you like. If you do conventional strength exercises or powerlifting, this is probably enough to get you started with a perfect home gym. You got a quality bench, barbell, weights, and a rack, and then you can continue to build off of that as the needs arise. But if you do more of like a bodybuilding style routine, a 1-inch rack is a must for attaching cable options. My favorite, because it's so compact and space saving, and it's so easy to move around, is the UPS from Surplus Strength that I was talking about earlier. But some people don't like plate-loaded cable options because then you have to change out the weights every single time. So pin-loaded stack options are popular. But getting a functional trainer can start to really take up space quick, and they aren't cheap by any means. And that's why a 1-inch rack is so versatile, because now there's a Rogue Slinger that can be attached with a weight stack, plus the Rhino can be connected. For Rep, now they're offering the Aries, which is still pricey, but it's more compact than a functional trainer and can actually be built inside your rack to save space. And this can make your gym a lot more appealing to bodybuilding workouts. You don't have to have a huge gym filled with machines to specifically isolate each muscle. A quality power rack that gives you options and some variation of a cable setup and a reliable sturdy bench, a quality barbell, and some plates is all that you need. You don't need a dedicated leg press or a hack squat machine or a shoulder press or a seated row or a chest fly machine or anything like that. You can convert your rack to do these things and save the space. And that's why choosing your rack is the most important thing that you'll do when making a home gym decision. Those 5 staples to your gym are where you need to do your research and focus on starting your home gym, because that's the formula to start out and build a perfect gym. Focus on these few things and you won't regret your build. Don't do what I did and have to restart for the 3rd time. Get it right the first time around. This episode is sponsored by Executive Fit LLC. They build custom deadlift platforms, custom barbell storage pieces, and make indoor and outdoor signage for your home or corporate gym. Every platform that pairs with a rack is customized to that specific rack, so everything fits nice and clean. And they ship nationwide. Each platform has a logo applied in a way that makes it impossible to peel up from wear and tear. They even make custom nameplates for your squat rack. Visit executivefitllc.com to request a quote and see what's available on their store. That's executivefitllc.com to upgrade your deadlift game today. I just want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you back here again next week.